Okay, folks, I've got to do a refresher video here. You see this right here where it says trapezium? Does it not look like the eye in the triangle? The Eye of Ra. Bear with me here. So it's in the Orion Nebula, okay? And right now I am on my Redshift app, which is a astronomy app. Okay, so we go here. We see the stars of the trapezium open star cluster. Coincidentally enough, they form a cross. Also, they are 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Well, they're A, B, C, and D, and E, or whatever. But there are Uranus 1, so binary. Check that out, huh? In 2012, scientists proposed that the cluster may contain an intermediate mass black hole with more than 100 solar masses. The existence of a black hole would explain the large velocity dispersion of the cluster's members. And I had watched a video sometime back by a gentleman, I'll try to find it, but he proposed that the Giza Plateau and the surrounding area was a reflection of the Barnard's Loop, which emanates from the trapezium open star cluster, which would be the eye in the triangle, which I will tie into several other things here in a second. Wow, and on a side note, this is how I came across the information. Black Hole Sun, I was looking for the lyrics of Black Hole Sun, and I came across Danny Wilton's work, and this is what led me to the trapezium open star cluster. And I was like, wow, and I just read it right here. The largest known black hole was discovered in November 2012. Intermediate mass black holes. Black hole, not yet confirmed, is a black hole in Orion. I just found that interesting. And we're all familiar with the creation of atom painting. Now, Danny Wilton was the first to come across this. He, by luck, chance, whatever the case may be, came across how when you take the Orion's Nebula, overlay it over the God portion of this painting, all things line up. Meaning that the nebula, you gotta superimpose it in like points of like where the heads are and where the arm comes out and the shape of, the general shape of, and I mean, it overlays perfectly with Orion's Nebula. And right here, where God's heart would be, is right where the trapezium open star cluster is. Okay? Now you take the Giza Great Pyramid, you overlay this very same image. The King's Chamber is where the eye in the triangle is, okay? You take our brain, you overlay it. Our pineal gland ends up being right at where God's heart is. So what I'm saying here is this is a roadmap to what really matters, folks. Call it whimsical luck, call it divine inspiration. This is the plain, simple truth of it. It's everywhere, veiled just behind what is hidden. Is in plain sight. What is hidden is in plain sight. It's in the words, it's in the things that we take for granted day by day. It's in the sky, it's the sun, the threefold journey of the sun across the house of bread, across the temple in our mind, Our psyche is the sun going across the sky. Our journey through life is the sun going across the sky. We're born, we have a high noon, and we set. And for further confirmation, may I draw your attention to... Okay, this is about the Anu. The Anu is said to be They discovered that the atomic weights of all natural elements, as determined by science, were proportional to the number of ultimate physical atoms, UPAs, in each atom. UPAs were the smallest discrete subatomic structure that Besant and Leadbetter discerned. At the time that Besant published her detailed investigations of atomic structure in 1895, scientists believed that atoms lacked any internal structure whatsoever, just as has been assumed by the ancient Greeks. That assumption changed in 1912 when physicist Ernest Rutherford announced that the atom consisted of a nucleus around which electrons orbited. The two principal components in the atomic nucleus, protons and neutrons, were not discovered by science until much later. Besant had portrayed them diagrammatically in her 1895 article, so she described them before they even discovered them. Even though the second object of the Theosophical Society is to encourage the comparative study of religion, philosophy, and science, interest in occult chemistry waned because it was getting too close. And here we get to the meat of what I'm talking about. But Phillips recently discovered the elusive mathematical proof. He showed that the exceedingly complex geometry of UPAs, which is the ANU, is identical to that of the 10-dimensional heterotic superstrings, which some leading quantum physicists suggest underlie the structural reality of all matter in the universe. This same geometry is echoed in what Phillips recognizes as the inner form of the Kabbalistic tree of life, as well as the other sacred geometries. Bingo. And we go over to etymology.com. You type in an. An means indefinite article before words beginning with vowels, with a long vowel. One, lone. Also used as a prefix meaning single, lone, as in anboren, only begotten, anhorn, unicorn, and sprace, speaking as one. Okay? Now also, the paradoxal to that is we're going to type in, watch this now. We're going to type in anu. We're going to add anu to it, okay? Now, I'll tie this into Orion in a minute. Boom. Orion comes up. Why is that? Why is that? Because it's a roadmap, folks. It's a map to our brain. Conspicuous constellation containing 7 bright stars in a distinctive pattern. Ultimately, Orion. Name of a giant hunter in Greek mythology, loved by Aurora, slain by Artemis, a name of unknown origin, though some speculate on Akkadian Urania, the light of heaven. Another Greek name for the constellation was Candian. Ares, god of war. The star pattern is represented in many cultures as a giant. The shepherd of Anu, the true shepherd of Anu. Okay, to break down the word Orion, I want to show you this. Ori is origami, original, oriole, origin, origin. Now you ready for this, folks? We type in on, the last part of Orion. Look what we get. In a position above and in contact with, in such a position as to be supported by, also noting the goal to which some action is or has been directed. About concerning, regarding, in a position to cover, an adverb. In and into a position, in contact with, supported, yada yada yada, on. Okay, then we go down here. Also used in Old English in many places where we now would use in, from, often reduced to o, phrase on, to, aware. Haha, aware. If at the beginning of the universe we had a singularity, does that mean that every black hole has the potential to create a universe as we know it? A singularity is really more a mathematical concept than a physical entity. It's true that the math describing both black holes and the Big Bang contains singularities, but they are not related. Also, a black hole only a mass of few times the mass of our sun, or in the case of those at the centers of galaxies, a couple million suns. The universe is obviously quite a lot more massive. That's counterintuitive what that article just said. But counterintuitive is what I want to explain here. The word "an" means first lone, but it also means arbitrary to or devoid of, like in anisotropic or anhydrous, or hang on, I'll show you. Anisotropic, not having the same properties in all directions. Okay, we'll go to antecede, a contraction of aniseed. Okay, well that was wrong. Like it's like in the word anti, aniotic, anodic, anechoic, in electronics, anechoic. Dotage. That's not what I wanted to show. But anamniotic, without amnion, anosymmetric, of unequal measurement, anophallus, without a navel. That's weird. Pryotechnician. I don't know. Aneria, absence of urination. Oh wow. But yeah, see, it's it's got both. It's got both singularity and expanse, endless expanse within a finite structure. That's what the Anu is. That's what everything is of, down to the smallest up to the biggest. So we'll go with the trapezium is to Orion's Nebula as Orion Nebula is to what? Is to the triangle, I guess you would say, because the triangle is Scythe, Rigel, Elnatek, and you got yourself an equilateral triangle. The triangle that's on the top of the dollar bill, which is the pyramid, the cap, all of it. It all leads to the one thing, to the single point of truth, the axis mundi. So the Giza pyramid is to Earth as the nebula is to Orion, as the trapezium is to the nebula, as the pineal gland